The following program is hosted by immature, irreverent, obnoxious, and often disgusting young men. Listener discretion is advised.
Shall we play a game?
You've got several things to do. You've got work, kids in school. What do you do when it's all over?
How do you hand something from one player to another?
Turn on the TV, pick up the controller and play some games with the new
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Nude Clan, the video game podcast that loves their musical intros. I am your host, Caleb Schweiss.
I'm Zach.
I'm Joe.
I'm A4, the tone deaf one, apparently.
And this week, guys, if you can't tell by reading your screen, if you're illiterate or you didn't get it with our little intro song, we are reviewing Halo Combat Evolved.
The anniversary edition.
Anniversary edition is what we played, except for Joe. He basically played the OG one. This game is obviously a game that we have all experienced over the years in various different ways, and we'll get into that. But yeah, it's the 20th anniversary of Halo Combat Evolved this year, so 20 years of Halo as of now, and I thought it'd be fun to kind of play through a couple of the Halo games this year as a celebration.
I agree with you. I think that's perfect. I think that's really fun.
They're fun co-op. They're nice and short.
That's really like the important thing here. Yeah, it's
Check.
less than 8
Check.
hours.
Yeah.
You can change the difficulty if you really have a problem. Like, oh,
But we're real men.
I was saying to Zach while we were doing co-op, I was like, I bet Joe played this on like automatic mode or something.
Yeah, we thought you played on that automatic,
you.
easy, near automata
Not
mode. You're like,
Halo.
the Halo plays itself.
not
Yeah.
Halo.
He fights the Covenant himself.
I will say I am better with the Xbox controller, at least in my memory. I'm better with playing this game and Halo 2 on the original controller because, of course, that's what I did constantly. But I did have the PC version back in the day.
Really?
When, like, the multiplayer on the first Halo, when the first Halo finally came out on PC, which was, like, 3 years later. And, I mean, it was easy to get into a game. People were modding shit. People were doing. I remember one time I shot a tank with a pistol, and the tank flipped over when I shot it. That was crazy. There was some crazy shit.
I mean, that
online
pistol
back
is
in the day.
overpowered.
But it wasn't that overpowered.
So did you play a controller or did you play keyboard and mouse?
I played keyboard and mouse because I don't have I don't have a long enough USB cord to use the PS3 controller.
You're just like little cord, just like...
And I would have to dig into the boxes to go into the 360 controllers I have in order to get a controller out. So I played it with mouse and keyboard. So I don't think I'm nearly as good with those, but I went through on normal mode is what I went through on the campaign. I have
Look, a little baby. Aren't you cute?
Fuck you.
Where's your mommy?
Fuck you.
We both did as well. We both.
I have beaten this game on Legendary.
Same.
I have.
Same, yeah.
This might be the only game I've ever beaten it on the hardest mode.
Well, we know, because we know what
available.
mode you play on.
Yeah, usually I'd play it on normal, or if I'm having trouble with the game, I'll play it on easy. Fuck you.
You don't usually play normal.
for you.
Yeah.
And how was it?
I fucking love that guy's rant so much. When he's telling the guy about how he was walking over, he was like, la da 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 da.
I almost clipped that too, and I didn't. I should have.
God,
I seriously,
so
I have
good.
like 6 Christian Bale rant clips on the soundboard.
No. It's good shit.
You don't fucking understand.
No, I played we all played the PC version shortly after. I was like, "Hey guys, I'm playing Halo," and you're like, "Yeah, I'll play Halo too." That's all I'm playing.
It was an accident.
I like how when Joe says he's playing Halo, he does the little arm thing, like Leave It to Beaver. Like this does not work for an audio podcast, but he's doing like the little. He's taking his arm and just moving in a quarter circle. Like, yeah, let's do it, guys.
Yeah.
So
Halo.
I forgot what I was gonna say because A4 shit.
You were about to say this was the greatest game of all time.
No, I know what I was gonna say. It was an accident. It became an accidental Uber game because you had said it, and then I was like, "Yeah, dude, I'll play it with you." Then A4 was like, "Yeah, I'll play it." Then
and then you started playing it, and you were like, "Fuck yeah!"
And I was like,
Halo.
"Man, this was all nostalgia."
Oh! I'm gonna start jerking off on Twitch thinking about this game.
You heard it here first, boys.
I like how you were worried that I'm going to get our Twitch channel banned, and then you say that shit.
And then you brought out your cock.
Luckily, no one can see it.
No, it's okay. You can jerk off on Twitch as long as you're in a pool. So
Yeah, pool, yeah.
Helicopter dick.
Okay.
Helicopter dick.
Okay. Halo Combat Evolved, also known as Halo CE to fucking nerds, is a first-person shooter game developed by Bungie and published by Microsoft Game Studios. It was released as a launch game for Microsoft's Xbox video game console, a.k.a. the best machine console of that era, I will argue. Console on November 15th, 2001. Microsoft released versions of the game for Windows and Mac OS in 2003, which is where I played it on the PC a lot. I would have been playing this at my friend Justin's house because he was a big Xbox guy.
You played it on the Mac?
No, I played it on the Windows.
Oh, I was like, that is so gay.
I didn't have a Mac back then. Macs back then weren't as useful as Macs are now.
No, Macs back then were fucking dumb.
This game was later released as a downloadable Xbox original for Xbox 360. Halo is set in the 26th century with the player assuming the role of Master Chief.
Oh, the queef himself.
A cybernetically enhanced super soldier.
Petty officer.
Super soldier. The chief is accompanied by Cortana, an artificial intelligence. Players battle aliens as they attempt to uncover secrets of the eponymous Halo, a ring-shaped artificial world. So, the hippopotamus Halo, yes.
Yeah.
So, Bungie began developing the game in 1997. It was initially going to be a real-time strategy game and morphed into a third-person shooter and obviously eventually morphed into a first-person shooter.
Which, fair, was a good call.
Yeah.
Twice.
Oh, yeah.
They made a good call twice.
I've heard many times that it was going to be made for the Mac.
The SNES, actually.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding.
No. You're like 97? No, that doesn't make any sense. What the fuck?
It was going to be made for the Atari Lynx.
It was
like,
going.
wait, what are we doing?
It was going to be a Mac game, and eventually they paired up with Microsoft to do this launch title because this game is fucking bad.
Well, dude, here's the thing, too. Like when you were a kid, I remember seeing these trailers, man.
Yeah.
Losing my fucking mind. And I was poor, so my mom's like, yeah, you're not getting an Xbox.
Yeah, they went to Microsoft, and Microsoft's like, why the fuck would you put it on the Mac? What, do you not want it to sell at all?
Well, it's like, what is it? What's their, like, Sherman, like, the
Did you
who's,
learn
like,
nothing from making Marathon? Like,
shotgunning his buried. He's like, not pussy. Xbox. Like, all right.
Yeah, so for those of you who somehow don't know, it was a big game. It sold like 5 million copies, and it helped launch the Xbox.
Well, it
and then Halo
revolutionized-
2 fucking came in and did even better.
Well, out of the games that like revolutionized first-person shooters, obviously we have 007, GoldenEye, and then the next one was definitely, I would agree, this one.
Yeah,
Because,
you
like,
got.
it's that one.
What do you
and then
got?
the two.
Hold on, we got. Let's go through the first-person shooter realm. So the first would be like arcade games, right, where you just like are going down a thing, and it's not really 3D or anything like that. You're just shooting at shit. And then you got the fucking 3D games, which would be Wolfenstein and Doom, right? The id Software games, and then they made Quake, which is basically
Awesome.
the shooter as we know it, but that's all.
Yeah.
That's all PC now. As console shooters go,
This
you
is
get
it.
GoldenEye coming in.
Which is
You get
amazing.
GoldenEye, which is like people coming around and playing it. And then Halo changed the control scheme of how fucking shooters should be played. And Halo's control scheme and the popularity of it have continued to this day.
Well, in
through
their
the newer
defense,
Call
they're
of
using
Duties and everything like that.
In their defense, they're using a controller on the Xbox that's normal looking as opposed to the N64 controller, which is an eldritch abomination.
Yeah, that's true. But they kept that weird control scheme with like the X button being shoot for Nightfire. Like the 007 games like kept to it for a little while.
You can't
thinking,
make
like,
us change.
Yeah, these are the glory days. Like
it's fine if you have to scope in with R1 and then press X, but it's still weird.
No, it's weird. And so like I don't know. And then the LAN parties were just as big for Halo as they were for GoldenEye, and then for Halo 2 came in with the online games, and they basically like
we're not reviewing Halo 2
online games, and then the Halo franchise became gigantic, and then Bungie was pulled in by Xbox, and then or by Microsoft, and now Microsoft owns the Halo franchise, and then Bungie went off and made Destiny instead, which actually outsold Halo. So,
dude, their like
way to go, Bungie.
Their release parties for the Halo games. So, like, the one I remember the most because I won stuff was, like, the ODST one. Yeah. And, like, it was crazy because you got there, they're like, hey, game releases at midnight. You got there, like, fucking 6 p.m. And you hung out with people. And they did, like, they were like, oh, here's, like, the trivia. So I won, like, a little remote control Warhog when I was, like...
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was badass, dude.
That is fucking awesome.
This kid was like, you're a nerd. And I'm like, but I'm the nerd with the toy.
But you bet your ass. My friend had this growing up, and he had the Xbox, and we'd play a lot of multiplayer games. I have spent countless hours in Blood Gulch fucking around with vehicles.
Oh, come on. Everyone has, man. Blood Gulch, that's for the men became men.
No, I mean, you would set up, here's the thing. You take the tank, you put it up against the base, and then you take the ghost machine, and you just fly at it, and you do flips, and you see, like, how many times you can flip it over. And you counted, like, it was so fucking stupid that we did, like, we weren't trying to, like, shoot each other or anything. We were just fucking around with the vehicles.
Yeah.
But, oh my God, and the co-op for that game is amazing. It's a really good co-op. For the first Halo, but yeah, and then this is the remaster. You know, just a couple of years ago they put this one out for the Xbox One or something.
Yeah. There was a Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, the Master Chief Collection. So it's the first 4 Halo games, like
and Reach and ODST
remade. Yeah, they have a newer graphics mode in the PC version. At least the one we played, you can definitely switch over to the older graphics if you want.
That released for the original, for the Xbox. That was how it originally came out for.
Yeah,
and like, oh, dude,
yeah,
it's kind of sad going back to the old graphics.
Do you know you
like,
could
the new graphics is what that looked like in my head, and then switching back, and I was like, man, it looks so like as a kid, I'm just like, no, dude, this isn't original.
Do you
That's
know
like.
you know the tab button is how you switch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good, because I know you can change it like overall. But then when I found that,
kept it to the old mode. As soon as I hit that button, I was like, "Oh, that's the old graphics. I'm staying there. That's my home."
It was easier to find stuff. There were a couple times where I'm like, Joe said it's easier in the old way, and I'd like turn the
new
graphics
graphics are very busy, especially when you're looking for like a holographic like control panel or something.
Yeah, or like a hallway.
As someone who didn't.
Yeah.
As someone who didn't really grow up with the original Halo, like in its heyday, I switch over to the old graphics on every level, and I'm just like,
I think.
You serious?
We're gonna get to the graphics. We're gonna talk about graphics, but I guess first we should talk about
story.
Well, no, we should talk about our history with Halo.
Oh. I thought we were reviewing
I kind of went over mine already. I had huge Halo parties over at my house. Most of the time it was Halo 2, and some of the times it was Halo 3 if there was enough 360s to go around, which there wasn't always. But yeah, I had huge Halo parties. I think you went to one of them when I was in high school. He came over and I was making out
and
with
then
my
Schweiss
girlfriend
started fucking women, and he was
that.
like,
No. He had brought his girlfriend. His girlfriend started reading one of the Wheel of Time books and got 1/3 of the way through it because she's a speed reader.
Oh, is she reading Wheel of Time?
Yeah.
Oh.
She was on the couch reading Wheel of Time when you were hanging out there.
You know, I made her an ultimatum. I told her that if I liked the series, I would marry Craig, and if I didn't like it, I would marry her. And so far, I like it. So.
Oh yeah. Well,
Craig's a lucky man.
It's a good thing I kicked her out. Come on, Craig. But that one I did go to, and then I went to one at the at you guys' place on Geneva.
Yeah,
that was a
Halo 4 a little bit, and Halo 3 most of the time there. I think
I remember Halo 3.
Yeah.
Those are fun. Those were great.
And my God, and Halo 1 was it didn't have as much functionality as Halo 2, but the multiplayer is still great for that thing.
Yeah.
So, a lot of memories doing lots of Halo. And like I said, if Final Fantasy didn't come into my life, you bet your ass I'd be an Xbox guy. You bet your ass this show would be centered around
And you
Xbox.
wouldn't really play. You probably wouldn't play very many video games, which is lucky because Xbox doesn't really have a whole lot going on. But that would work for you because you know there's other shit you would rather be doing probably, except for Halo.
Except
If
for
it's
Halo.
there's no.
If it's Halo, I'm not doing anything else.
Yeah, this is all I'm doing all night long.
So how come you've never started a Halo podcast?
I hadn't played Halo in a little while, except for the multiplayer when we had a big party, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I got this Master Chief collection a few weeks ago just because I wanted something to play multiplayer because we were doing Conan Exiles or something, and I just like... I mean, it's a stupid purchase, as all my video game purchases are, where I'm like, fuck it, I'll buy it. And then I bought it, and then it was the greatest decision of my life.
Master Chief Collection is like the biggest no-brainer in terms of that shit at all. It's $40 for fucking like 6 games and 5 of their multiplayers, because I guess ODST doesn't have multiplayer.
6 games.
Unless there's co-op
ODST
campaign.
has Firefight. That's
serious
a multiplayer.
classics. Serious classics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only paid $20, so it's awesome.
But yeah, that's my Halo. What about you guys?
What about you, Schweiss?
So my uncle had a PC that was capable of playing Halo, and I played Halo 1 Combat Evolved, this one, quite a bit on PC. And the nice thing about the PC release is it has the online multiplayer, whereas the Xbox One does not. When you play on the original
Xbox One or
The Xbox X?
the
Series
Xbox original
version?
The Xbox
version
Zero.
1 SX.
Their next Xbox has to be the Xbox Zero, so it just takes all
those cunts. They better
all
not.
of the names that it could be the original Xbox.
Erase the name.
Yeah, just fix it. You don't have to keep going down the hole. You don't have to make it worse and worse. But
No. The next Xbox is just going to be called the Xbox, like with the word "the" in front of it.
And it's got 2 E's, and you're like, oh, it's phonetically spelled? Come on. No, not the Xbox.
As you got that pistol from Halo 1, and you're just like...
Yeah. Your whole house blows up. It's so
you take
overpowered.
flips.
Yeah, so
the
he
zoom in on that scope is beautiful. I was headshotting grunts. I love it. I love it so much.
So
There's a video by a guy named Inferno Plus who has made a version of Halo called Cursed Halo, and one of the weapons in there is the unmodified Halo 1 pistol, which fires like as fast as an SMG.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So my uncle had it, and I played the campaign and the multiplayer quite a bit back in the day. And then my electronics class in high school, we had a TA who had it on a little flash drive. And when we were in there, like, finishing up our electronic stuff, because it's kind of a fast class, he would be in there, like, downloading on it onto all the computers, just the demo. And so when the guy would say, all right, you guys can go do free time, we would all just bust in there and start, like, a 16-player Blood Gulch multiplayer match. And it was fucking awesome. Every day.
That's what happened in my wood shop class. He'd be like, yeah, we have our set things, like, hey, you got to get this much done on your, like, project. And then all the computers had already had Halo on it, so he'd be like, hey, you guys are done, you can do what you want. We'd be, like, in there just killing each other, and you're like, someone would be like, damn it, just dead. It was great, dude.
I had Halo in the electronics class, and then I had the demo for Halo in there, and then I had the demo for Age of Empires 2 in my fucking AutoCAD class. It was fucking sweet.
Nice.
And they were on alternating days, too, so each day I had something sweet to look forward to at school. But yeah, I played a lot of Halo 1. And then Halo 2, my buddy Cody, him and his brother got an Xbox for Christmas, and they got Halo 2. And that's when I stopped going to church, pretty much.
Because you found religion. You found a better religion.
They would skip and
You saw God.
yeah, they would
And he was
skip
Petty Officer Master Chief 117.
they would skip church, and I was like still trying to go and stuff, and then I was like, you know what? I told the bishop, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go get him. I'm gonna go get them, and I'm gonna bring them back. And then I come in, and they're playing Halo 2, and I'm like, all right, let's play a couple rounds of this. And then I seriously, like, basically never went back. I would just go.
The bishop to this day is just like, you're his biggest regret.
Yeah.
He's like, I have to confess again.
He had an awful conversion
know.
rate. Like, half of us, like 70% of us in that group of young men do not go at all now.
You can't. It's because Halo. You can't be Halo. Like it was.
Halo 2 is, and then I there was one day where I come to the church, and my mom is in the parking lot already, and I'm like, oh. And she's like, where were you? And I was like, I went to go get, I was trying to bring Cody and Zach back. And then I was just like, those boys worry me.
Trying to bring him back to the
Those
fold.
boys worry me.
Yeah, I was like, I'm worried about Cody. And I just got done playing 3 solid hours of Halo 2.
God.
Is this the
Real
same?
worried.
Is this the same Cody from the Sarah and Cody Chronicles?
It is, yeah. It is. But yeah, that's my experience with Halo and Halo 2. And then Halo 3, my old roommate Hayden, he was into that one. And I played it a lot. And then in high school, Halo 2, like, I got an Xbox. I convinced my grandpa that it was worthwhile to help me get a fucking Xbox Live trial because you had to have a credit card on file. And then he never would let me actually continue it, so I just had to use the trial modes. But man, I was fucking in. And that was one of the biggest reasons I wanted to get an Xbox 360 when I was younger, was Halo 3, and then probably like Elder Scrolls Oblivion, because it was only on there for a while. But like I was in, man. I was in for the multiplayer, and I never really got super good at it, but I don't know. I would always do decent when we'd have those Halo parties. There's like a couple guys that would always beat me, but then I would be like, I would be up there.
Jeff, Don, and John. They're fucking sick.
Yeah.
They would win every, like, I would bring them over to the Halo parties. It'd be like, you know, the real players always up at the top 3, and then, like, everybody else just a slow decline after, like, a 10-point drop, basically.
Yeah. I don't think I ever beat them.
No, I have only ever won in swords. That's it, against those guys.
I think I've gotten like top 3 a couple times at your parties, but those guys there were a couple of them that were way better at
I've
Halo
only
than
ever
I
won in
was.
swords in Halo 2.
Yeah.
Never won in swords in Halo 3 over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've never been that good, but I did get pretty good for a while, in Halo 3 especially. And I really liked SWAT. That was the game mode that I really enjoyed because you could just fucking drop people.
SWAT is fun. In Halo 2, they have a setup there called Tower of Terror, which is like a custom setup. It's not part of the game. You have to like get all the rules right on I believe it's Ascension.
Yeah.
And that is the funnest, most intense game mode of all time.
Yeah.
So, and we played it a lot when we did our big, huge Halo parties.
What's the map, the blue map that I was talking about the other day?
The little one? That would be a good one for swords. I can't remember the name of it.
That's the map I really like on Halo 2.
Yeah, it's a good one.
But
A4, your Halo history.
Not really extensive. It's just like right around the time Halo 3 came out, we went over to my cousin's house for Thanksgiving, and that weekend we couldn't get Halo 3 rented. It was like the week it came out, so we just rented Halo 2 and played the shit out of that. Touched it a bit in college, a bit at like my brother's house, but I never really had an Xbox or a 360, so I did not play a lot of Halo until I guess this collection came out on Steam. So I am pretty much the odd man out here. I did not have a huge, what do you call it? I did not have like a big history with the series. You
don't have an engorged Master Chief Taurus?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like a weird scenario that it's a game that I knew about because my friends all played it, but I never played it at their houses much, and I just didn't really have a lot of experience with it growing up or in college. I'm really the weird odd man out here.
Yeah, you're definitely the odd man out because it was like the biggest thing in the fucking world when Halo 3 came out.
Dude, so like, I'm gonna tell my history. Yeah. I asked for a game system every goddamn Christmas when I was little, but I grew up poor, so I didn't get one. I got disappointment. So when Game Crazy was a thing, I don't know if it was like nationwide Game Crazy, but I know it was like a Utah thing for sure.
Yeah.
They used to do sales around Christmas. That was like if you bought a game system, you would get like $100 gift card with it. And so it was used to like sell used game systems, and you'd get a shit ton of games. And it was like their way of like selling a used game system for higher than they should. So my mom, Santa Claus, got me a used Xbox.
Santa Claus at
because
that
I'm
point?
Mexican.
How old would you have been?
I had to. No, I had
17.
I had to lie. So I had to lie because my mom was like, yeah. She said I heard her talking to my grandmother. I was like, as soon as you like stop like believing in Santa Claus, like not gonna be as many presents. And I was like, fuck you. It was like every year it's like Santa Claus is coming.
Santa Claus is coming?
So what do you mean it's fake?
Santa Claus is coming?
So yeah, so I lied. I had to lie for like a long time to keep getting presents.
Did your mom just think like, man, do I have like a retarded son?
She's like, I work with handicapped people, and I think he's there.
I think I just
God
didn't notice it because I work with them
It's
all
because
day.
she hit me in the head with too many chonklas, dude. Like she threw that saddle too many times, and it just
She doesn't do that with a
fucked-
handicapped kid. She
no, just me.
Okay,
Fucked
all
my
right.
brains up.
But now that I know he is handicapped, I better stop.
You can't undo brain damage. So anyway, so like had like there's a box like just there, and I opened it. It's Xbox, Halo 1 and 2.
Wait,
all
which?
these other-
Oh, okay, Xbox.
the OG Xbox.
Okay, OG. Okay, gotcha.
So yeah, dude. Then when Halo 3 came out, I actually got a new 360 for Christmas one year, which was dope. But like, no one got me Halo 3 because my family didn't love me. So I had to go return games my aunt got me for Christmas.
Get that Halo 3.
to get Halo 3. But like, dude, that was like me and my cousins would like spend the night at each other's houses, right? And we just like hook up with the Xboxes and just fucking
Yeah, just
kick
fuck
ass.
around. Like,
yeah. So what
just
we do
fuck
is my
around.
little cousin. So like me and my older cousin like a year and a half apart, right? So like we were pretty close. His little brother is like 10 years younger than me. So his little brother would screen peek us, and so we come up behind him with a sword, and he just turn around and kill us. So we used
What
to
you gotta
we
do
used
with those snipers?
we used to take his controller and unhook it, and we'd throw it across the hall. And so he'd go, I hate you guys, and he'd run and do it, and we'd kill him real quick and find where his body was. So I got grounded a lot playing Halo 3 and 2 because we would just fuck with him and like unhook his controller. Because remember, like the OG Xbox had like the dual connect for the controller.
Yeah, I had the dongle thing.
Yeah, so we would take it and we would just like throw it, and he would just scream, like, "I'm telling mom!" We're like, no, here, get a free kill, get a free kill, get a free kill.
Here's some candy. Here's some candy.
Yeah, shut up. So like, oh dude, that was good. Go buy snacks. Like we'd like talk my mom and my aunt or like uncle who we're with. We're like, we really gotta go to like Smith's. We want some like candy. And we're like, my uncle's like dating my aunt. We're like, do you want us to like put a good word in for you? And so he would like, yeah, dude, he would go and then he'd take us to Smith's and we'd get like just junk food and shit and just like hopped up on Mountain Dew and then go and play Halo.
Dude,
for
fuck
forever.
yeah. It was Rockstar's and Mountain Dew all day, bro.
Dude, and those special Mountain Dews, like Livewire was special for Halo back in the day. That
that's
was
true,
that was
yeah.
a very special. Then they had like a different one, like. But like, unfortunately, man, like I just don't. It's not the same. Like not playing the game, but like that kind of shit's not the same. They don't do the specialty drinks anymore, which
Is that-
I'm a sucker for that shit. I'll buy them.
They do it for Call of Duty.
You can't
But it's not a special flavor.
you can't
It's
blackmail
like
your
double XP.
you can't blackmail your uncle.
Oh, I totally can because
like they've been fucking for years now. It's not the same. He's like,
he's kind of unfaithful. So now I have actual blackmail, and I'm
You're like, hey, remember
guess
that-
what, fucker?
remember the Halo days? Well, I'm out of Doritos, and I saw you last night, so
And she's ugly, so give me some food.
you better get me a second bag.
They call that pulling an Arnold.
But yeah, I do like go to friends. Like we didn't do parties like you, but like just going to friends' house and just like hanging out. And that is where I started swearing. Actually, was online Halo games. It started me going, "Fuck, Zachary, you can't say that."
And now
People's
he hosts
parents-
New Clan.
Zach gets killed by someone with a shotgun. He just looks over both his shoulders. He's like, "Frick."
No,
That's where I started to
dude,
swear.
I was bad because I'm like, my whole family swear. And I was like, you can't fucking swear.
For those of you listening to the audio version, Zach is just quietly motioning with both of his hands to an
sorry.
adult figure that is in front of him.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, see, you got it is nostalgia. Like it's like our last week with our review of like Tony Hawk. It's the nostalgia. There's a certain nostalgia for us that I hope keeps coming with games.
It's nostalgic, and that's one thing. But also, it was this specific game, Tony Hawk or
Tony Hawk Combat Evolved.
Tony Hawk Combat Evolved. Halo Combat Evolved really made the modern shooter. I realized that like Call of Duty right after Halo 3 became like the new hot chick, right, on the on the block, and everybody started playing Call of Duty 4, especially.
Then was like, Halo, did I get a tit job? And it's like,
it was Call of Duty 4, and then Modern Warfare 2 kind of solidified Call of Duty as like the strong shooter franchise that everybody played together.
4 come out the same time as Modern Warfare 2?
No.
No.
It was.
No. So Halo,
sorry,
Halo 3.
Sorry, I thought that's what you were saying. I apologize.
The timeline here is Halo 3, Call of Duty 4, which is Call of Duty Modern Warfare, or Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, not Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I'm sorry. And then Modern Warfare 2 came out, and that was like that.
Well, technically,
those two kind of like solidified.
It's Call of Duty 4. World at War.
It's 5.
Modern Warfare 2.
5's World at War.
Black Ops.
Okay.
Modern Warfare 3.
All right. Well, then
Black Ops 2.
Here's the thing. My heart was still
New
in
Modern Warfare.
My heart was still in this. This is about the time where I started playing RPGs. My heart was still in the shooter realm.
The Halos.
But I didn't like the Call of Duty physics.
Really?
Yeah, I really didn't. I didn't understand Call of Duty until Modern Warfare 3. And we were playing that together, and then I started having fun with that game. But I never liked how quick and brutal Call of Duty is in comparison to like how like fun
you had a
Halo
shield
is.
in Halo.
Halo is like low gravity, jump around, have fun kind of thing. When Call of Duty is like really quick, kill immediately. Like you're just trying to like. There's no like fun involved. Not the same kind of fun.
It's a frenzy to stay alive.
Yeah,
kinda.
it's just different. It's just different, and I just like the feel of those first 3 Halo games better. And then when I played Halo 4 one time, I started playing and I was like, they really Call of Duty'd up Halo. Like the physics weren't quite right. Like and it was faster. It had sprint options, and I was like, "Get this the fuck out of here!"
I feel like
You're like a child who's like,
So-
"That's not my dinosaur nuggies."
No, well they fucking like
They're Tyson.
Halo's great. Keep Halo. Call of Duty's great. Keep Call of Duty. Don't fucking make Halo 4 of Call of Duty and Halo like thing. Don't have them touch dicks.
It's like
that.
when 2 assholes have a baby, and you're like, "Please don't be like your parents."
I think honestly, they did that with Reach, or not? Is it Reach, the one where you play as the old? It's like the prequel.
Yeah, that is a prequel.
I don't think that felt like a Call of Duty game.
Reach
it
to
had
me-
more like shit in it, like, but it didn't have the physics of Call of Duty. But also, like, those were 343 industry stuff, and the physics. I think the guys who actually made Halo made Destiny, because when I started playing Destiny, which has its own reasons why I didn't keep playing Destiny,
It feels like Halo.
the physics, which is the special part of Halo, I feel like it's that special sauce that really does.
Yeah,
it feels like Halo.
and it's weird because when you play Halo, it feels like something. This is why I think it's so influential. It feels like something different. Like it feels like it's beyond.
But it was, especially for like the time and like us, like and it was our formative years.
And like the Xbox, like that machine coming along and something being able to being capable of handling Halo, like it just feels different. You know, like when you look at Medal of Honor or even Call of Duty before we got Modern Warfare, like it does not feel anywhere near as like sophisticated as Halo 1 on the Xbox. And now, of course, Modern Warfare or Call of Duty is like the standard.
No, and what I found out, so I watched some guys like recreate, like truncated down the making of documentary for Halo 2, and basically all the dev team at Bungie at the time, they had a lot of time where they had to make the game, but then they would all play the game together over and over again. And like it took them like 10 months to make the bulk of Halo 2, and 4 months of those were them play testing the game as a crew together. And I don't think that's a normal thing to do in game design. I think they have like play testers and then the people making the game.
Yeah.
But I think one of the big reasons on how fun that fucking game is because those guys are making sure that it's fucking fun. Number one, so I don't know, and maybe all game companies do that, and there was just something different there. But I thought that was
the only reason I
that
started
might be a reason why it's so fucking good.
the only reason I started playing Call of Duty more than Halo 2 or the Halo is because I got the Red Ring of Death on my brand new 360.
I can't imagine.
It was like it was like 2 months out of warranty, and they're like, "Fuck you, Mexican." And I was like, okay. Got a used PS3. That thing lasted me like a long time, like a long time.
It's a better system.
But so I got into Call of Duty and I kind of left that behind.
Yeah.
And
I think Halo changed too after Bungie was no longer in the equation. I haven't played a single Halo
the last
after that.
Bungie Halo was Halo Reach.
That's the last one I played. I have not played any Halo beyond that for a second.
I played a little bit of Reach, but not a lot.
Was Reach after 4?
Played a little bit of 4 because people brought over 4.
No, because
Halo Party.
4 was on the new Xbox, or not the new Xbox, but the Xbox like series, whatever.
Wait,
and then
new
Xbox One.
Whatever the fuck, yeah.
Is it on the Xbox One?
It's the one after the 360.
Oh, not
So
before.
Reach-
it's not the one before the 360.
Shut up.
the one
Reach was
after.
on 360, and the next console had 4. I fucking hate Bungie.
Gotcha.
They're not Bungie, Microsoft. Dude, their naming is. You're right. It's bullshit.
It's super bullshit. Yeah.
It's because their owner's always like hopped up, dude, on like monsters and cocaine. You know.
Yeah, he's hopped up on vaccines,
He doesn't.
and his ex-wife's.
He doesn't own or Microsoft anymore.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, he owns it. He's just not the CEO, right? Or did he sell Microsoft?
As in, he's not the CEO. He's not in the managerial part.
Yeah,
of it.
that's probably good because a lot of times the guys who come up with those ideas are really shit at like marketing
But
them.
he never was shit.
He
at
wasn't
anything.
though. Yeah, that's weird. That's a weird. But maybe he's just fucking tired of it. He's getting old, so he's like, "Fuck
No,
it.
that was the idea. He was done.
Let's go take over the world."
He had to go do something else.
Yeah. So I once they gave up Halo, I just was not interested in it. It's weird because I really liked Reach. I thought Reach was really fun, but I just stopped.
It's definitely been the
You
era
know?
of Call of Duty and Battlefield, and hasn't been the era of Halo since Reach ended.
That's it.
basically.
Yeah.
So that's another series that had like a heyday, and although the Halo continues to sell well, including this Master Chief Collection did really well. It just isn't the like premier multiplayer shooter game that it was. Maybe Halo Infinite, when that comes out, maybe that'll change things, but we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, the new Halo is going to be their first like open world Halo. Like it's
See, the thing that
They're just trying to do Destiny.
I know.
that's what bugs me. I'm like,
I know.
Let
but
Destiny be Destiny. Let Halo be Halo. Let Destiny be the original Halo.
See, like, and I've heard like I've never played Halo 5. I heard 5 is like kind of a shit story. And so I think it switches between you don't play as Chief the whole time. You switch to another Spartan.
The overall like critical praise of the games it just slowly over time degrades. Just
Well, I mean the original trilogy, I would say
I
is
still
like
think it's like its Metacritic scores in the mid 80s or something like that for Halo 5. Yeah, I'm sure it's not a bad game.
But I mean, like
But I'm
for
sure
the Halo like 1, 2, and 3, I kind of feel like it follows the whole like Star Wars thing, where it's like 1's like A New Hope, 2 is definitely the best one, being The Empire Strikes Back, and then 3 is a little less than the first one, story wise.
Okay.
Online, definitely Halo 3.
I think I think the multiplayer increased.
But it did.
Every time,
the
yeah.
multiplayer for sure, but the story wise, you know,
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see.
you know what? I'm actually excited. I'm actually excited to try it out because I heard it's going to be on PC.
Let's finish the fight.
So
I never finished the fight, man. I only did Halo 1 and 2.
Dude, I might end up playing all the Halos. I don't know. We'll see.
Let's fucking buy Halo Wars right now.
Yeah, not those two. Not those two.
Is there a Halo Wars 2? Oh, fuck.
Yeah, because it introduces. Okay, I'm mad because the story looks cool, and it introduces like badass brute named like Tartarus, and he just looked sick as fuck. Like
Retardus.
No, it's not Tartarus.
Yeah,
Tartarus.
Retardus.
Tartarus is from 2.
They
Sorry.
call me Retardus.
There's this big old like brute guy who just looks like a badass, and I was like, man, this looks sick. And they're like, it's an RTS, and I'm like, fuck you. Not playing it.
I love RTSs outside of Heroes of Mana.
Outside of on the DS. Why the fuck would you put it on the DS?
outside of that one, I really like RTSs. So I've always wanted to play Halo Wars. Also, Halo Risk, great version of Risk.
Yeah.
Great version of Risk.
I bet it is.
and rare, actually. It's
Is
hard,
it rare?
It's hard to get.
Ooh, I know a guy who has it.
I've heard it's hard to
we're
get.
gonna have to break into his house and sell it on eBay, definitely. So I guess we can get into the story a little bit. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much you have.
I mean, like, the beginning is kind of weird. Kind of, because they're like, all of a sudden you're just getting shot down in the Pillar of Autumn.
Yeah, I mean, basically what it is there's a war, an ongoing war between a race of aliens called the Covenant and then humans. And you are Master Chief, a Spartan, whatever the hell that means, some super soldier. We don't really get much back info on him in the game.
Gotta read the books, bro.
Who is
No, they're good.
No one's gonna read the fucking.
Dude, the books are awesome, dude.
All right, go ahead.
who's brought out of cryo sleep to fight these creatures who are invading the Pillar of Autumn, which is the ship that you are currently flying on. Your ship goes down onto a ring of Halo, or I guess a Halo, which is a ring planet. It's really weird. It's super cool though. It's like a machine. It's kind of like Elysium, if you've ever seen that shitty movie.
I like that movie. Where the fuck?
It's not as cool as. I mean, that's not fair because the first movie that guy made is fucking awesome. But you crash land on the ring, and it's this. It looks like a ring in space, and
Because they're chasing you.
They're chasing you down, and then your mission becomes. Well, we know they have a super weapon in this ring, and we're going to find out a way to use that against the Covenant.
Because the Covenant are stupid, and they don't secure any of their network. And Cortana's like, yeah, they're not.
And you follow this.
They're not hiding
They don't
anything.
know about hackers. Yeah, they're like the government. They're like the U.S. government, and then you're basically Russia, and you're like, idiots.
Yeah.
Idiots.
So yeah, like there you got Commander. So you get split up from your party. It's like Commander Keys crashes. He crash lands the Pillar of Autumn. Sergeant Johnson, who's another like main like guy in the military for you, he crashes somewhere else, and then you crash
Yeah.
another part of
And
the
then Keys is basically giving you the task of, okay, we'll find out what this weapon is all about, and we're going to use this to bomb these fuckers.
Yeah.
And, you know, the whole time you guys are thinking, like, the Covenant are these dumb savages, like, they don't know what they're doing. They're just trying to conquer, which they kind of are, as far as you can tell. And, and the more you dig in, the more you find out that you've actually you've actually kind of fucked up a lot of stuff because you guys in your like hubris have released this your hubris, I guess.
Yeah.
hubris.
Have
His
released your hubris stank.
Your Hoobastank. They released the Hoobastank.
You guys in your hubris-stank released a creature.
An entity.
And a parasitic entity known as the Flood, who are like the horror element of this game. And they're basically the Half-Life beasts.
Great twist in the middle of the game, by the way. Is like, oh, we're going to get the weapon. You're following this guy along.
Well, then Cortana,
And it's just-
freaks out because you're like doing what you're supposed to do, and she's like, "Stop him! Stop him!" And you're a kid. You're like, "What did I do?"
Yeah.
It's not only that, but also like the Flood are terrifying. If like,
And they're hard.
Imagine just playing this for the first time, not knowing anything about Halo. You're playing through this game, and all of a sudden, like the bad guys switch around into these like mutant zombie gross things.
And they don't die the first time.
And-
Some of them come back.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
have all these crazy gameplay mechanics that just make them honestly kind of scary. And they're like, things are blowing up all over the place, and like
Right.
these little creatures that come from Alien basically are
Yeah.
coming to attach themselves.
They have
and leech
no
off of you.
regard for their own safety. They'll shoot rockets directly in front of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing too
They
is
don't
like,
care.
you're right. It totally changes the mechanic of the game because before you're fighting tactically as much well as you can as a child,
Yeah.
fighting the Covenant, and then you have these things where like, oh, you throw a grenade and it's like, oh, that blows up, that blows up, that blows up, that Covenant flood blows up. There's
Yeah.
4 grenades on the ground, they go up in smoke, and your body's flying across the map.
Yeah.
You have to change up the way you play.
And it's also the imagery, and like it's dark, and like things are malfunctioning in the game and everything like
Yeah.
that. So it really adds to
Shit's
that
breaking
element.
down.
343 Guilty Spark pisses me off
Yeah.
every time I play that game.
And then you basically have to destroy
Yeah,
Halo.
Guilty
that.
Spark is basically if C-3PO was even gayer, like if he had robot AIDS or something.
It's funny playing Destiny, and it's like they have the same fucking character.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, the little dude.
Yeah.
So when you finally discover that the Covenant were really they're like terrified of these guys. Like this is, and then you find out that
well, at first they were looking for it.
They were, yeah,
because of the Forerunner technology. Like they're like, hey, this is a weapon, and then they're just as scared as you are, and it's a free for all trying to get off this planet.
Yeah. Well, I think they weren't. They knew about the.
They didn't know the flood was.
Really?
Yeah.
So like,
because they don't.
I thought it was the technology was so old they didn't know about it.
Yeah. No. They knew the Halo was. They've been looking for it. The prophets
knew it was a weapon.
The prophets were looking for it, but they didn't know what the flood was. Because in the second one, you find like the grave mind was hiding on another like Halo.
Oh, I get you. So okay, so you're both looking for the weapon.
Yeah.
But they know what the weapon's for, and
it's
you don't
funny
know
because
yet.
like you accidentally find it because you blind jump in space, and then when they start finding, I think it explains in one of the books. Like they're blind jumping because they're like getting away, but like the reason like the Covenant is there is because they were actually finding it. Like they located it and they're like, this is where it is, and they're like, oh fuck, the humans are here.
Yeah, and so the whole point of the Halo is it's a massive weapon. That's not really a weapon you can wield.
No,
it's just a mass extinction.
Yeah, it wipes out all life to stop the flood.
And just because the flood is a parasite and they need something a living host to latch onto. And so whoever the fuck built the Halos,
the Forerunners,
they place these things variously throughout the universe to wipe that whole section clean, to get rid of the flood, because the flood is basically unending.
They don't have a food source or anything, so they die.
Yeah. If they don't have food. And then I think the aliens know that. They found that out. I'm pretty sure.
They find it out the same time as you do.
Oh, really? I thought they found out before, and they were
because that's why they're trying to get
fighting
off.
the flood and everything. They're trying to get out of there.
The prophets are like, no, you gotta do it, and they're like,
yeah, and then you gotta blow up Halo in order to not have the flood spread themselves.
Yeah. So,
but then Halo 2, they find more Halos now.
Aren't there like 9 of them or some shit? They're like 9 rings.
There's 9 rings, and so I was gonna.
But that's Halo 2.
Game.
In Halo 2, you destroy 2 Halo rings.
I can't remember.
I thought it was Halo 3.
No, I'm kidding.
I can't remember how.
I just remember when they're like, in Halo 2, you can hold 2 guns.
I just remember in Halo 2, it was that like we found more.
Well, because again, it's an accidental
another
jump.
Death Star.
And it's cool because in Halo 2, you play as the aliens too, so you kind of see that
you play as what's his name, the Arbiter.
Yeah, and you realize that. You you guys are both kind of in the same boat. You were looking for this to defeat the other side, and you realize
your story's so good too. Just thinking about it
until the end. Yeah,
you realize there's a way worse enemy.
Finish the fight.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
Stupid cliffhanger at the end of 2, but I know why they did it now after watching that documentary the other day.
Yeah. But the story is kind of cool. It's kind of like a mystery, and at first you're like, oh, I don't really know what's going on. And if you play it, when I played it as a kid, I was like, why does everybody think this story is so cool? And I'm like, no, it is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
It has like elements of fantasy in it, but it's like Star Wars in a lot of ways. Where it's
epic
like
fantasy sci-fi thing. Mixed in with a zombie sort of apocalyptic thing in the middle of it.
It's fucking
pretty
cool.
And like, and it's always nice, like you said, with like the twist. Like it's always nice when games where you're expecting one thing and then it's like, just kidding.
Yeah,
this is the actual enemy, and you're like, oh,
the
God.
flood twist is a good twist. I think also this game came up with the 2 iconic characters, which are Cortana and Master Chief. Not only in their design, which are obviously the Master Chief's design is the one that stayed, and it's really iconic, but also like Cortana is now used as part of like the Windows machine or
you could say, hey, Cortana.
Yeah. Cortana. And then Master Chief with his deep voice and everything, where he just like
but they changed
his
visor design. They changed his visor design after this one. It's different in Halo 2.
Well, so 2, he gets better armor.
He gets a better helmet.
Yeah,
but I mean, he got a better budget.
He gets better armor.
Look,
also,
after you destroy a ring of Halo, your military budget goes way up.
Also,
right?
can we talk about how like they did the thing where you don't actually see his face at the end? Like he goes to take his helmet off.
That,
and it's just like
it's the old way. It's the old way of like you have.
It's like the old
He's like
stuff.
a space Clint Eastwood character.
He is
what he is,
and that's how these flagship characters for these consoles kind of go. Like they either don't have a voice or you never see their
Yeah,
face.
and
It's
this
like
is
some mystery.
He's a great one. He's a great one.
Yeah, he is.
It's
And
really
out of all the
iconic.
iconic stuff, yeah, 100%. He is iconic. He's
So.
people who don't play games know who he is.
Now, I do think to kind of definitely went more in the dramatic direction. I guess I'll have to replay to.
I guess we'll have to replay 2.
Maybe
I
we
get
should
it.
replay 2.
We might as well replay 3 if we're going to replay 2.
I mean, I might as well play the campaign of 3 for the first time all the way
You know
through.
what? You know what? While we're busy with 3, we might as well play ODST because that's a spinoff.
And ODST is fun. It's fun.
I mean, we might as well play the last Halo game that Bungie put out, which was
mean-
Halo Reach, which was a prequel
Well,
to
and I
Halo
want
1.
to
Because we
get
have
some
to know-
closure. I want to
yeah,
see where the series started. You know,
we
it's
had
like,
to see how Master Chief got
And
what
I
he
mean,
got.
none of us have actually played 4 or 5, so we might as well have something to compare
Yeah,
it
we
to.
might as well. I mean, it's the 20th anniversary for Halo.
Well,
so I mean,
shit,
why
isn't
not?
Halo Infinite coming out this year too?
Yeah, next
Oh,
year.
we don't
next
have to
year. They
play
put
it
it
next
next
year.
year.
Come on, is
because-
everyone going to be late to their anniversaries?
No, because did you see the art for like the graphics for Halo Infinite? Shitty dog shit. Everyone complained like they should have, and so they said we're gonna bring it back.
Well,
Oh, I didn't. I saw that. I've only seen the cover art, which I thought was sweet.
No,
but whatever.
that's cool. Graphics in game,
yeah.
dog shit.
But that's like the worst
I mean,
Disturbed
I'm
album
gonna see
having
if
the
I
best
can,
cover
I
art.
can find you.
yeah,
Something like that.
I don't know.
It looks like Halo 2 graphics on the original Xbox.
Are you sure they're just not like that's not like an older version demo?
No. There's like I mean,
Of course
now it's a little older, but like they had shown it and they were like,
Well, anyway, I think I honestly think the story is pretty good in this game. I don't think it blows me away, but like that twist in the middle of the game when I originally played it, it was like mind blowing. Nowadays, it's like a really good story. So I don't think the story is necessarily held up as being like amazing, but I think it's still like really solid for a game. So I'm gonna go ahead and give the story 9 out of 10 on this one. I think it was really good for the time and is still pretty darn good now.
I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's pretty good.
I think it looks dumb.
I think you know what? Now, fuck it. I'm gonna give it a 9 too. There's really not anything. It's not like mind blowing, but it is pretty good for a shooter. Like pre Call of Duty, shooters don't really have good stories.
Yeah, but even like post Call of Duty, not all shooters. Are
exactly. Or shit, even
Call of
Call of Duty.
Yeah, Call of Duty's not even like good up to either.
Call of Duty 4 has a really good story.
Forest
but
Ark is awesome.
Modern Warfare, like that series,
It's
with those
fucking
ones,
sweet.
are awesome. But I
Yeah.
had fun with World at War too. I thought World at
Yeah.
War was a fun one.
Oh yeah, World at War. The arcs are all cool. Like Modern Warfare 3, when you fucking finally kill that one guy from Modern
Dude,
Warfare 2,
so
that's fucking.
And I think
badass.
Doom
I played that-
2016 has a great story. But
That's true. Yeah.
yeah, but there's not many. There's not many, exactly.
Yeah. So
When you just like hang him and you're just
yeah, where
beating
you
the
wrap
glass.
the fucking thing around his neck and then you like break through the glass and then he hangs. It's fucking sweet. Or when you pull the knife out of your
Dude, and
chest and
it's-
you flip it around and
Oh,
you
and you
chuck
get-
it at the guy.
That the Call of Duty's real quick. I know we're talking about Halo, but those Call of Duties, like those Modern Warfare ones,
Fucking awesome.
you felt great at the end of those games. It was like even like hanging that dude, you're just like I felt like I had actually revenged my friends. Like
Yeah.
I was like, I need a cigarette.
Yeah.
You know, like I was like, I did it.
But this is like the first shooter for me that actually does have a pretty good story and like they actually started caring about it.
Oh, and
so.
you care about the world too. Like you're interested in learning more about
Yeah,
it.
there's
so like
one
when
thing
like
that
when
Bungie's-
Keys is dead, it's kind of like, oh shit, like you kind of get that.
If there's one thing that Bungie's always been good at least, you know, compared to like when you're looking at like Marathon and this series, they're really good at building up the lore of their series until Destiny, and that I think really makes the story of Halo that much better.
It definitely adds like a good sheen to it. Like there's something else there for nerds to explore, but it doesn't need that because the core story is also really strong. So.
Yeah.
Yes, the flood twist is great.
I mean, most of the time it's good lore, terrible main story in most fucking video games. That's it. That's what because I think it's because they're nerds, right? Making these things.
Yes.
And they just like don't know how to tell just a yarn. They don't know how to spin a yarn. Just like the basic thing that storytellers do.
Yeah.
Like they forget that
They're
part.
putting like the frilly stuff on the edge of the blanket and then
Yeah.
they don't make the fucking blanket.
They don't make the play.
It's just the lace on the lace border.
It's just
like
the lace.
idiot. How am I supposed to stay warm with this?
blanket is like 95% frill. It's not keeping you warm enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking ass.
Yeah, I've run into that a lot.
But it's so intricate. Just read the item descriptions, Joe. The item descriptions aren't going to keep me fed. Man can't live off of fucking items
To be
descriptions
fair, he
alone.
didn't actually beat Bloodborne.
Fuck.
So you're getting the lore.
That's true.
Wasn't gonna happen.
God.
What are you going to give the story of Halo A4?
I'm going to give it, you know what? I'm going to give it an 8. I think it's really good. It's a solid single-player campaign with a lot of deep lore going on. But if you don't know what a lot of that lore is, some of the shit can kind of be confusing. Like 343 Guilty Spark just kind of comes out of nowhere. It just takes you to a place.
I wasn't confused when I was a kid on that stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think when I was a kid as well, I wasn't.
Yeah, I think I got it then.
I get it, but it seems to come out of like left field in a way. But that's not to say that the story's bad. Just like it's really well done. It's very poetic in some, like, it's got this great mixture of poeticism where you have these things, like your ship is called the Pillar of Autumn and you're looking for a fucking map room called the Silent Cartographer, all that's cool shit. And then you've got nice little one-liners from both Master Chief and Cortana that are just really solid fucking comebacks to like certain scenarios. Just really top tier writing. Commander Key's whole thing where he gets turned into like a flood guy near the end is fucking tragic as shit. Yeah. It's good.
I love
give
the
it...
tone of the game, that the whole thing. Yeah, you're talking about like those big epic kind of fantasy sweepy sort of like things where like that's there, but there's also a little bit of that like 1980s badass stuff mixed in, and it's a really good mix of the two.
It's a mixture of like the fantasy sci-fi shit, but also going like full on like army, or I guess in this case Marine, just like hoo-ah, like gung-ho camaraderie sort of shit.
Yeah, there's like a little bit of Orson Scott Card in there, and a little bit of James Cameron type shit.
Yeah, exactly. We got to find this map room called the Silent Cartographer, but also LZ is not clear. Yeah. Yeah.
All of those kind of
I think I'd settle on an 8 for this. I like it a lot. I'm ready to get blown away by the stories in 2 and 3 specifically, since I haven't played through those campaigns.
I don't know if I'm blown away by the story in 2. It's definitely really extensive. So they went like way above and beyond with the story.
Well, because at that point they already had some of the extended universe already figured out, like with the Fall of Reach book and some of that stuff, right?
I don't know.
So,
I don't know.
You're right.
So maybe they were like, all right, we can take the fucking limiters off this thing and just go full in on this fucking lore dump.
It's straight up. There's 2 different main characters. You're the Arbiter and your Master Chief. So
yeah.
And so you learn about like the aliens world and you learn about Master Chief's world at the same time.
The sequel seems like a good venue to explore the Covenant as like a people instead of just like, these are the bad guys, we shoot them, which is kind of what they are in this game. Like,
this
they don't
one's really
elaborate.
Simple 3-act structure, but it does it well.
Yeah, like, you know, they have this ring world, but they don't really elaborate into like why the Covenant are doing what they're doing and all this other shit. So, yeah.
Zach, how do you feel about the story? Did I ask you for your score yet?
9. I give it a 9.
A 9? A 9?
One level is too fucking long.
A few of the levels are too fucking long.
I think the longest one, like the library always like gets people, I guess, but for me the Silent Cartographer is too fucking long.
No, you're thinking of Assault on the Map Room. Assault on the Control Room was the long one where we were just like, how is this not over yet?
Oh yeah.
That one's the middle levels are the long levels, I think. But
yes.
I don't know.
We were specifically going into a room in Assault on the Map Room, just going through a hallway, going into that room and going, hey, remember this room? Because it's the same room that you've been in 15 times prior with a slightly different like enemy layout. And then you go to the same bridge, but now there's another bridge next to it. It's just like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, besides that, like,
that stuff gets real frustrating on Legendary.
Yeah, it does.
But that's more gameplay than anything. It gets frustrating
with the new graphics too, because it all fucking like it's all busy.
Yeah, and fuck the new graphics, guys.
I like it. I think it's great. I do really like them, but it does make like a lot of the level design too busy.
They're just trying to match what Halo 4 looks like in those new graphics. I don't know if I love them as much as you, but I guess we'll talk about graphics later. So Zach give it a 9.
Give it a 9,
and A4 give it an 8. Correct?
Yep, 2 9s and an 8.
Yeah.
All right.
He's not down with the Halo.
Gameplay. Who wants to talk about gameplay? A4?
Gameplay
Since
is
you're new to the
extremely
series.
fucking. Well, I think. Look, the gameplay is extremely fucking solid. I play a lot of boomer shooters, so this is a little slower than what I would prefer. But like, there's no denying that Bungie has absolutely, even at this point with the first Halo, completely just mastered how these guns should feel and sort of the momentum of the mix of weapons you get combined with like Master Chief's running speed, his jumping arc and speed because it's a real slow fucking floaty jump, and that combined with like the different vehicles you get your hands on, just a really good variety of stuff with like the Ghost, and then you have the Warthog, which is like your multi-person vehicle, and the Banshee, which can fly, stuff like that. I'd be willing to say that this is like a 10 for gameplay, just purely gameplay, but some of the level design in the campaign is going to drop it down to a 9 for me, just because some of it gets really repetitive, really fast, and it sort of drags along in a few levels. But like, if this was purely based on gameplay and not just like level design, 10 out of 10 for sure. But I got to go 9 just because some of those levels took too long. And it was just the same room copy pasted over and over again.
This is the, as we said before, kind of like at the time in 2001, this redefined the shooter on the console.
Oh, of course. It's also notable.
Oh, fuck yeah.
For that reason. It really is the benchmark for console shooters, basically for the following decade.
Yeah.
Even Call of Duty, I think, took a lot of inspiration from Halo before going on to reinvent everything with Modern Warfare, just making it sort of a faster, more visceral game.
Yeah.
But
it still has a similar control scheme as Halo. Like, it's still
that's what I mean.
taking
This
that
is like
shit.
this is the shooter control scheme that has basically prevailed for the past 20 fucking years on consoles, and that is easily this game's most important aspect for sure.
Yeah.
They nailed first person shooters on consoles like from minute one.
Yeah, they figured it out. They made the Xbox a contender, and they made multiplayer. Just they stepped up the multiplayer again with this game, and then of course with Halo 2. But dude, it's just a wonderful shooter. Like, there's just like the things you can do in this game. It's not too many things. It's not too few things. It's like, you have the different kinds of weapons you can go through, and they all have their own little personality quirks with those weapons and what you need to use them for. But then you have like different kinds of grenades that you want to use in different situations. And nothing is more fun than like hitting one of the grunts with a sticky grenade, and then that guy like freaks out, and then he goes into his group of guys and they all blow up. And the AI is wonderful in this game. Just like the creatures that you're fighting against, especially the Covenant, with their own like fighting styles and personalities and where they run to and stuff like that. It's a really smart, wonderfully designed game in the campaign. And then the multiplayer, I think, is some of the best multiplayer I have ever played in any game ever. And I go back to it again and again and again. It's got like the capture the flag variants where you got to go in and grab someone else's flag, or when you're on teams. It has regular Slayer, where each of the maps has its own like, you know, weapon placements or whatever, and different spawn points, and you got to go in and just kill each other like normal. And then you have like other variants where you can just do all rockets or all snipers on the bigger maps. Those are pretty fun. And then like it's so well made. It's so good, and it's still good to this day. And I know that some of the maps are longer than others, and if you're like, oh, I kind of got to get out of here, then maybe that might not be great for you, A4 or whatever, if you got to try to beat a game. But I think, honestly, I love the entirety of this campaign, unless you're on like the super high difficulty mode where those things get frustrating, but that's kind of how it should be.
It's not to say that the campaign isn't good, but there were definitely times when me and Zach were going through this and just going like, oh my God, how is this level still going? Especially because in a lot of the middle levels, it's a lot of like just the same room and hallway copy pasted over and over. Really, it's just that assault on the map room level. I think it's like the 5th mission. And then the library, obviously not a lot of people like, and it is a bit of a slog.
But it's right when the game looks like it's going to be repetitive with all the Covenant that it pulls in the flood for the second half of the game.
And that saves it.
And it's like,
but like, if you're asking me, this game's like its absolute high point are those first few levels where like you're getting out of the ship, you get on Halo, and you get to experience this just massive, open, like forest area. And then Silent Cartographer itself is just a cool ass level because that's when you really get to like grab a few squad mates, hop in a Warthog, and drive around this huge fucking island, going to different areas and taking care of the objectives as they come along. And then like you'll see a point where there are enemies down below on like a cliffside, and then eventually you go down there. It's like it's really well done. I just think that it starts to lose a bit of its momentum in the latter half of the game, as much as it pains me to say that, because I do like this campaign a lot. It's extremely solid.
Yeah, I mean, even if the campaign sucked, the multiplayer would take this thing up to a 9 out of 10 at least. But
oh, for sure,
I love the campaign. I love this entire game. I find everything about it to just be a blast and addicting. And I remember why I played it over and over again back then. And honestly, if like the systems all stayed the same, I'd still have been playing it up to this day. But you know, you get new systems; they don't have Halo. You start getting into other games, whatever.
But you have
Halo.
a PC.
Now I have it on.
Again.
Now I have Master Chief Collection on PC, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" I remember what I was missing. Holy shit! This is a great game. 10 out of 10, no question. Fuck. On the gameplay.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 10 too. I was considering dropping it down because I do think some of the levels do get a little bit repetitive. I think some of it is kind of like the balance is a little off because sometimes I'll get like my ass kicked like over and over again. But honestly, I don't know. I think this game is super fucking fun. The mechanics are so pure and so like spot on for this game. I think the Master Chief Collection has a few little weird glitches and shit that I would run into. Like guns would be sitting on the floor spinning like super fast.
Oh, and then it makes a noise because it's like the geometry colliding with each other.
Yeah. So like there's some weird glitches in this.
I never ran into that. Yeah.
Ran into that,
we
like,
ran into
4 or
that
5.
multiple times in like the same level, but also
and we just giggle and we go look at it.
yeah, because we thought it was like a grunt or something getting caught in the wall, but it was just a gun spinning slowly.
I have played this game on multiplayer, like, and I think actually, I remember on the original Xbox, like bugs would start to happen when you were playing with 2 people. So I don't know. You guys all played co-op, and I didn't. So that might be something.
Oh yeah, that could be.
Schweiss, I guess we didn't get the graphics yet, but Schweiss, did you run into the glitch where Cortana just looks completely fucked up?
No, I thought she looked weird, but maybe, but.
Because we could like see her eyeballs and her teeth like through her face.
Yeah, but you couldn't see her face. Like,
yeah, it was this weird. And I looked it up, and apparently it is a glitch that occurs with her in season 7, which is at the time of this recording the season that the Master Chief Collection is in. So I guess it's just a weird thing.
And she's not blue; she's white. Like she was like a whiter.
Yeah. Oh, that's weird.
They whitewash Cortana.
I'm sure they'll fix it for the next.
I would hope so.
I'm sure, yeah. It's something they could easily patch, but it was just odd.
Yeah, the game's multiplayer is absolutely addicting. Blood Gulch is one of the best maps for a shooter that's ever been made.
So yeah, best shooter map of all time, maybe.
I love
Blood Gulch?
It's up there.
Fucking around with the
vehicles.
vehicles.
It's not Rust, but you know, it's.
I don't know. Man.
Nah, it's better than Rust.
Are you talking about the Rust map from
Call of Duty?
Call of Duty?
Yeah.
No,
it's better than Rust.
Fuck that. It's way better than Rust.
Well, Rust is nice because
It's
you can
better
play
than
it
every map I've ever played at Call of Duty. Straight up.
I don't know. I mean, even firing range.
Rust is fine.
Nuketown.
Better than Shoot House? I mean,
Well,
What's Cargo? But better than Cargo?
Everything's better than fucking Cargo.
I know.
God. Hey, get 20 people inside this 20 by 20 cube.
There's only one multiplayer map I don't really like in Halo. It's the one where we were playing on rockets the other day, and it has like the thin areas where you could jump down and fall to your death over and over again.
Yeah,
I don't like that one. But outside of that, I like all the multiplayer maps.
Yeah, the game is absolutely fun to play. It's a blast in co-op. It's a blast by yourself. It's a blast playing online multiplayer. Like, Halo is fucking good, and it really did revolutionize the shooter in a good way and in an impactful way. A lot of the things that Halo did, we're still doing today, and a lot of that is because of just how much fun the gameplay is. And, like, I'm serious. When you pick that up on the Xbox, it's like it feels like something beyond what you had played previously. Like the physics, the mechanics of the game just feel like something that could not have been done until that Xbox. And
that might be why it felt so good to play on console, because it is a bit slower than your Dooms or your Quakes or something. So because it's like a little less precise than a mouse and keyboard setup, that might be why it just gelled so fucking well with a controller.
Yeah,
it's just that slight bit slower and floaty enough that like you could really get a feel for what you're doing with analog with that whole new, at the time, whole new setup of analog sticks and triggers.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to play. So 10 for sure.
Music and sound.
What about Zach?
Oh, I'm sorry, Zach.
Wow.
That's the second time I almost skipped over you. I'm sorry.
No, I'll just cry about it later. Gameplay in 9. The repetitiveness is a little annoying, but it's like overall, like it's such a fun game. Like it's great. It's so much fun. I dig it. But just some of those levels, it's got to the point where it's like I don't really feel like playing right now. So it's just like, which sucks because I do like it. But yeah, you can give it a 9.
I mean, a 9. We believe you that you like it. That's a pretty high score. So.
Yeah.
Graphics and design. What do you guys think of the way the game looks? What do you think about the design choices they made? So on and so forth.
One of the design choices that bugs me, actually, with the newer graphics, is because I know the lore of Halo. So in the original Halo, like with like the jackals, I don't know if they were called jackals in the first one, but there's two different There's two different subspecies, and if you look at the original graphics, you see both of them.
Yeah.
And if you do the new graphics, they've completely taken them out. I don't like the updated backs for the grunts. I like the triangle.
I switched it on because with the Master Chief Collection, of course, you can switch between the two modes if you want to keep on to the. Because here's what I went all the way to when he spun the gun and gave you the gun in the at the very beginning of the game, and I just have. I mean, it was a square screen, so your guy is off to the side and just a little bit different in the widescreen version of this game. But I remember going like, that doesn't look quite right. That's not how the game I remembered it looking. And then I realized, I found out, I think I just like accidentally pressed it when I was at the first level. I was like, oh shit. Old graphics, new graphics, old graphics, new graphics, which really wasn't graphics. It was like textures, old textures, new textures. And
I don't even know if I would call the old graphics textured. They're like
shut up.
Barely textured.
The new graphics are like really
elaborate, busy. I agree with
busy,
that.
Halo 3.
They still look great, though.
Like all the shiny, they put a bunch of shininess all over everything.
Well, like the lighting effects are different. I would turn on the old graphics in some levels and it would be like dark as shit. And then it would turn on the new graphics and it would be like, oh, I can see.
Well, it's supposed to be dark and kind of scary for the second half of the game. I turn it on and it felt like, did they realize what the effect of the darker looking thing was supposed to be? So I'm starting to think about that now.
Not even in the second half of the game. It would be like the third level or something, and it would just be like, I can't see shit in this fucking level.
I'm going to judge it based on graphics of the day. You guys judge it however you want on this graphic and design and art and stuff like that.
I mean,
category.
I don't know. Keys in the new graphics looked like he had bad plastic surgery. Like his face was like
puffy. Yeah.
It was bad. Okay. Like it didn't look good. I mean, Master Chief all looked good. Cortana didn't look good for us, but that's not graphics. I mean, like
we saw a picture of what she's supposed to look like.
Yeah, she looks great.
So.
The new graphics are like the Covenant do look really good. I do like the way they look. But again, like the old graphics, we were still talking to you, Joe, and saying like the new graphics is how I saw it back in the day. Like I remember it being amazing, and like you go back to the graphics and they're so good that I remember.
They're good for 2001. Like play another game from 2001 and you'll be like,
no, I agree, but it's the whole rose-colored glasses where I'm like, it looked like that to me. Mm-hmm. And like going back, like I'd still give graphics and design a 10, 100%, because like all the weapons all look cool and they're different for you.
They're
and the
iconic
Covenant.
As shit.
The ships are different. They look great. And like, I mean, getting like
Iconic is right.
It is.
Iconic is right. I'm thinking of the design of the Banshees. Master Chief himself is iconic.
The
Obviously,
Warhog. People love Warhogs. Like,
Warhogs, ghosts, bruh.
And like,
the Needler. That's my
Dude.
favorite looking gun. I love that thing.
It's sweet.
The Needler's great.
The Halo 1 pistol is always in the top of like favorite weapons in games because you can zoom in and you can it just is a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those.
Although it
ones
was
that,
funny.
I suck ass at the pistol, but yeah.
that's what I use. Every time you go, like, I
Dude.
die, I had to go back to find my body to grab my pistol.
I mean, one of my least favorite things about Halo 2 is that there's no assault rifle in it. The assault rifle from Halo 1 to me is just like, it is Halo 1.
Then they bring it back to 3, and you're
Yeah.
like, okay.
So I just,
Yeah, because the battle rifle in 2 is only 3 fire bursts, right?
Yep.
I fucking love the BR. That's my favorite
Dude,
gun.
I
in
love
Halo.
dual wielding needlers in 2 because it's so cheap.
I don't know if it's really the graphics that stand out in Halo. I think they are good for their time, but they're not state of the
But
art.
I mean, like, if
But-
you look at the character design too, though, I mean, like the elites look dope, the grunts look dope.
It's the right. It's the not the writing. I'm sorry. It's the art. It's the artistic kind of like the world that they made. There's nothing in it that's dull and boring about their world and the characters within it and like the weapons and all these things. They are all very unique, very cool, and very Halo. So.
Which is important for a shooter like this. You need to be able to identify your enemies like at a moment's notice. So since elites and grunts and jackals and hunters all have like very unique and distinct silhouettes, it's good for readability too.
Well,
So,
even like the
on that front.
weapons, you can look at the weapons. I mean, you know, you're not getting shot at by friendlies because they don't. It's not ammo; it's plasma. Yeah. It was smart. It was a very smart thing for them.
Well,
to
even
do.
then, when you see a weapon on the ground and you see like a darkish bluish indigo purple, you're like, plasma rifle. Got it. Okay, so I know what I'm looking at immediately. Yeah, the art direction in this is absolutely stellar. I did not grow up with the old graphics. I will admit I am completely spoiled by the new graphics. Anytime I hit tab, I would just go like, "Ooh," like it's just a bunch of polygons that are untextured in like a trapezoid shape. But like, I can see how that's nostalgic for you guys. I'm not knocking it for that reason. It's hard for me to judge the old graphics. I mostly played this with the new graphics on, and since we're reviewing the anniversary edition, I will judge it based on that. And I think it looks pretty damn good.
Did you ever play the Call of Duty games pre Call of Duty 4?
I played a little bit of
Big Red
I played like a bit of.
Think
I played
of like
a little
Call
bit of the demo
Duty
for that.
2 and Call of Duty 3. Think about the graphics on those things, and then think about Halo.
But I played a lot of Halo 2 multiplayer for a while back in like high school, and not a lot, but enough that like the graphics, I don't remember them looking like
They're
that. It might be
that different. Honestly, I don't think they look that different from the first Halo.
interesting because
Yeah.
it might be the thing with Zach where like maybe the rose tinted glasses are making me remember those graphics being as good as the new graphics are in this one. But mostly this just comes down to like the art design in this. Vehicle design, weapon design, character design, it's all fucking stellar. I'm going to give it a solid 9. Also, just the ring world of Halo itself is cool as fucking shit. It's amazing looking up at the skybox and just seeing the world curling around itself.
Oh yeah,
It's
like
so
being able to
fucking
look.
cool.
Yeah, that's rad. That is a good point. That is cool.
You know, I was only going to give this a 9, but you guys talking about all the iconography of the game has made me want to. I think I'm going to push art and graphics on my score to a 10. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I half expect you to give this a perfect score anyway. So
Honestly, too, though, like,
I thought Joe was going to give it a perfect score. But now he's fucked it up.
you fucked it up, Joe.
Sorry.
So A4, are you going to give it a 10 as well?
No, he gave it.
I'm giving it a 9 for graphics. Really good, really iconic.
Schweiss
I think.
was asleep. If you want to tell him your scores.
Yeah, I was power napping.
I gave it a 10.
Fuck, graphics and design, dude. I gotta go 10 on this. This thing looks great. Even the old graphics, like for the time, that's fucking crazy. And everything is iconic about it. You know, like you guys were saying, the Banshees, super cool. All the vehicles are really bitchin'. I really don't like the layout of the last level, but that's not really a graphical thing. The Halo is probably the coolest looking thing in the fucking game. And like,
That's where you
when
were
you
like
go to old graphics, you go new
95,
graphics.
yeah.
They both look fucking awesome either way. And in fact, there's a couple areas like near the end on like chapter 8 in the cave. I turned the old graphics on and I was like, I kind of like the way the thing looked more. And like half of these areas, like, yeah, the new one looks better, but like there'd be times where I would just like bump tab and like I would forget that I'm in the old graphics and I had been playing it in the new graphics for a while, and like I would just like leave it in one or the other for a while.
I'm so much more used to
Which
how
is
the
weird
Covenant
because-
look in the old one than that's really what.
That's weird that you would forget, because I think the difference between the new and the old graphics is so fucking jarring in like
Yeah.
almost every single instance.
There'd be times where I would leave it in the old one and like
The newer one's busier.
One of the things I liked.
It's way busier. I'm not going to fight you on that one. It makes it a little more visually cluttered, but I
Makes
anytime
it
I went
harder
back to
to
those old
find your
graphics,
way in some of those spots where you're just supposed to like find like a little hallway somewhere.
yeah, I got lost because of hallways
Yeah,
multiple
same.
times.
Yeah.
Then I remember Joe saying the old graphics are easier to navigate, and then I like would flip it onto the old one. I'd be like, oh, there's the hall.
That's where I'm supposed to go.
One of the things I like that they did in this one is if you press tab and you watch like a cutscene, you still got the old graphics. So it was like you switch between it. It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
You're like,
It wouldn't work for me on cutscenes.
Music and sound.
you have to go into a cutscene in while you're in the old graphics.
Oh, okay.
You have to be actively in the old graphics for it to do it.
I never did it.
Yeah. So I did it with like when like this team with keys get attacked by the flood for the first time, and I was like, yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, the only reason I was going to bring down a point in art and graphics is like the people models, like Cortana in the old graphics, Cortana and Captain Keys and stuff like that. They just look really blocky and weird. Their faces, and that was the only thing. But you know what? Fuck it. You know what? I love it. Yeah, it's 10. Fuck it.
Yeah. Sound and music.
Fucking
10.
awesome.
I'm gonna give that a 10 too. Straight up.
10. Jesus Christ.
The sound.
soundtrack.
Oh, this.
Go ahead, Zach.
No. You go. You go.
Go ahead, Zach.
I'm saying I like the sound
I'll
of the
just jerk
plasma.
off
I like the
in the
sound of the plasma
He's
rifle.
excited for you now.
I
He's-
love the sound of the weapons in these games. I love the sounds of the ghosts, the banshees, the wraiths. I love the little ward as you're like in levels.
kill.
Kilimanjaro.
Oh.
The screams, like with like the voiceovers, like the grunts, like the screams, or they're running, or it's like not again, and stuff like shit like that's
Yeah.
great.
So
It
good.
makes it fun, and you can just, and then you get the secret shit with the
Get
skulls.
up and I'll kill you again. Like the fucking soldiers.
The demon, like it's just good.
So
the
much
fucking
good
the
shit.
grunts just I can't go that high. It's
It's so good. It's so good. All over the place. The sound is honestly part of what makes the mood of the game perfect. It's so 10 out of 10. There's no way. There's no way to give it anything
I'm
else.
tempted to dock a point off for not being able to find the horn in the war.
that's not a
Yeah, where the
sound thing.
fuck
That's
was
our
the horn?
fucking problem. I couldn't figure out what the controls were to fucking honk the horn in the vehicles. I also couldn't figure out how to get the ghost to dash when I
don't
was
think
playing
it
this. I don't know
does
why.
in
Halo
one.
2. That's Halo 2.
Yeah, 2 is the one that brings all the cool like loop-de-loops and shit into
Okay,
the
that
vehicles.
fuck
explains it
around
then,
with the
because I'm like
lips.
I'm in the keybind maps, like the key-binding screen, and for like on a vehicle, I get vehicle function 1 and vehicle function 3, and I'm just like, okay, did we just skip over 2? But 10 out of 10 for this as well. We were streaming this in another guy's server who I don't think was like super familiar with Halo when we were co-oping it, and just hearing the soundtrack and hearing the reactions to it, and I'm thinking like, I'm surprised at how well like world music fits with sci-fi in this instance. Like it's all kind of like bongos and very ethereal, sort of like, I don't know how to describe it other than like world music, but it feels so good in that alien setting. It works so well. And then eventually when you do get like the strings and the electric guitar of like the main theme kicking in during the really, really awesome epic parts, it's just so fucking good.
Dude, I love the flood theme is always one of my favorite ones too, because it's creepy. Like running. I love it. It's creepy.
The
It's
whole
creepy.
thing. The whole
It's so
thing. The
good.
soundtrack is wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah,
The only thing that it's missing is the fucking who is it? Steve Vai or Joe Satriani that did the remix
Steve Vai.
of the. Okay, yeah, that's the only
did
thing
that.
it's missing really, but we get it in Halo 2, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's great.
I remember that one of the E3s, like there was a guy, I think it was 2 dudes playing a guitar, and they were doing the Halo theme, and I was just like, man, that's a great theme, but these guys are way too into it. I'm going to give the sound, I think I'll give Sound and Music a 10 as well. The only minor complaint I have is there are a couple tracks in there that are kind of like weird. But it's
I
almost
dug
like
those. I forgot about them when I was playing the campaign. I was like, oh, I forgot this was part of the music scape here. But
yeah, it's almost
I
like
dug it,
it's
yeah.
almost like you're playing Secret of Mana, and it's like this experimental like music tracks you got going on, and it's kind of like almost like a little bit chipper, and I'm just blasting people to pieces.
Well,
and
it had
shit.
like orchestral stuff and like the earthy stuff, but then sometimes it'd go into like a little bit electronic.
yeah, electronica kind of like. Yeah, but it's good variety, and the theme is just fucking great. And then like the little chorus thing is awesome. Like it's so fucking cool, and it just adds to like the mystery and like the majesty of the Halo, of Halo's The Ring, and just the like just how like little about it, and it's I don't know, it all really works together very well. It's sci-fi, but it's fantasy. It's mystery. It's all of these things combined, and I think the soundtrack does embody all of those things as well. So it's like a complete package here with Halo. So I'm giving it a 10. The last category, the easiest to score for all of us, I'm sure, replayability. What are you guys going to give Halo for replayability?
I'm going to give it a 1.
I am never playing this game again.
10. I give it a 10. Obviously, we went back. I went back and we fucking played it, and I plan on going to replay it because I want to find all of the hidden things they have in there in this one they've added in.
The terminals that give you like the extra
Yeah.
backstory stuff.
Yeah.
There's like one in every level.
Oh wow.
10 for me as well.
They're sick, but make sure everyone's dead, or you will die while they force you to watch this movie while you click on it. That was
Yeah,
my
'cause in the
only
last-
thing that I hated. Is it's like you click on it, it's like and it like plays, and then people are still like, the Covenant are like, the fuck is this idiot doing?
Yeah, in
They
the
just kill
last
you, and you're
level.
like-
In the last level, there's like one of the terminals is just on like a fucking control panel in one of the rooms, and I like hovered over it and said on the top left, like press E to interact with terminal, and I was like, oh, I guess this opens up like a door or something, and it just starts a movie that I can't skip, and I'm just getting killed by Covenant, and it's like, okay.
Replayability. I've played this so much. I played this a lot after I beat the campaign over the last week and a half. I can't.
Yeah, Jake and I would jump on to play campaign.
I can't
then
fathom how many hours I've played multiplayer this game.
Joe would be on, and we would just play multiplayer for like 5 hours.
Yeah, because I saw your Steam achievements, like, and I think Thursday night when me and Zach got through like the first half of the game, I was like, Schweiss is only on like the first level or something.
Yeah, he's played like 13 hours.
Yeah.
It's all.
I mean,
'cause-
yeah. Even if the campaign wasn't replayable, which it is, despite my faults with it, the fucking multiplayer more than makes up for it. It's solid as hell.
Yeah, there's different ways to go through the campaign. It's difficulty modes, and then you can do
Oh,
co-op
yeah.
too. So, and
Yeah,
it's a
that's
great
what I mean.
campaign regardless. So
Yeah, I've always really liked Halo 1's campaign. I like it more than Halo 2's from what I remember, but I don't know. I'll pay more attention
Halo
to Halo
2
2
is
this
more
time.
difficult and slower. I remember it being slower because you got to like, it's a lot more kill everybody
Yeah,
before you move on to the next area, and it's more difficult.
Especially on Legendary. Holy fuck.
Oh, Halo 2 is really difficult. I beat
Yeah, 'cause
Halo
I'm like-
1 on Legendary. I could not
those
do it
fucking
with Halo 2.
those fucking jackals with the snipers, good god, man. They are fucking sick in Halo 2.
Well, because
They're
we're
ridiculous.
going through the library, and I'm just shooting all the flood like an idiot, and Zach's like, "Just what are you doing? Come on, like we don't have to kill all of them."
Yeah,
And I'm
you don't
like,
have to kill
Yeah,
everybody.
you're right.
But Halo 2, it's more like you have to kill
The best part
everybody.
of that was
Or
you were
they'll kill you.
you were standing there and a flood had a rocket launcher. So I'm like, I'm running to A4 because I'm behind. I didn't see him go, bah! And he's just gone. And I was like, no!
So good. So good. Is anybody not giving it a 10 out of 10?
No. There's no way.
I gave it a 10.
Yeah, it's just too much fun. The Blood Gulch, like I said, is probably one of the best, if not the best, shooter map of all time.
You know what? In retrospect, I think I'm giving it a high 7.
A4? A4? Are you
Just
sure?
kidding. It's 10.
Okay, all right.
It's a 10.
There's just way too much to do, and I mean, like I said, I uninstalled. I think I said last, or maybe I just told you guys. I uninstalled Halo 1's campaign, but I did not uninstall the multiplayer. And I installed.
Oh, I
Halo
didn't know that
2's.
was a option. Oh shit, I'm gonna have to do that.
Yeah, you can when
'Cause
you
I
go
love Halo 1's multiplayer so much.
when you go into like if you click on Halo 2 now, if you don't have it downloaded yet, it'll like pull up in the console and it'll say, hey, what do you want to download? And you can like select and unselect certain things. And so I unselected the campaign, but I left that multiplayer installed. There's a reason for that.
Why would you not just download every multiplayer in the Master Chief Collection?
'Cause
Because
I
it's
don't
like
have
you got all these
space.
playlists that cycle through all the different games as you go along anyway. So it's like,
I just don't have space.
Because Conan Exiles takes up a lot of fucking space on your computer.
Yeah,
it is
does.
really jarring though when you're
Arguably
playing a
better than
playlist in
Halo.
multiplayer. Like you're just playing random matches in multiplayer in this thing, and you're going from Halo Reach to Halo 1, and you're just like, oh, okay, this is different.
Yeah. This is a great game, though. The multiplayer is fantastic. The campaign is one of my favorite shooter campaigns. I think I've played through the campaign 2 or 3 times now. It's at least twice.
Yeah, this was my second.
So that's saying something for a shooter, that I'm not just trying to like spam achievements in. And it's a great experience. It's a whole all around great game. So the replayability is totally a 10.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
are you adding up our scores right now?
I already have it.
Okay, perfect.
Let's recap our scores. Story, A4 gave it an 8. The rest of us gave it a 9. Gameplay, 9 from A4 and Zach, 10 from Joe and I. Graphics and design, 9 from A4, 10s for the rest. Sound and music, 10s across the board. Replayability, 10s across the board. For a combined 46 out of 50 for A4, 49 out of 50 for me and Joe, and then 48 out of 50 for Zach, which is a total of 90 or 20. It was like 190 something. 192 out of 200, which translates
Today, Junior.
which translates into a 96 out of 100 for
96.
Halo.
Oh, so it
I
just,
thought Tony Hawk
just
was
beat
going to be
out
our
Tony
highest rated
Hawk.
game of the year. Yeah.
Nope, not this time. Not this time round.
We got some nostalgia punches here right in a row. Yeah.
Also, I realized I loved video games this week.
Yeah.
I was like, why do I have video game podcasts? I'm kind of lukewarm on them. And then I started playing Halo. I'm like, oh no, I fucking love video games, dude. This
Yeah.
is great shit.
It's that meme where it says like friendship ended with film. Now video games is my best friend.
I'm ready for Halo 2. I'm ready to play Halo 2.
Oh,
Honestly, playing Halo 1 kickstarted me to be like, I gotta replay the trilogy.
I want to play them all.
4 and 5, I'm not too like super stoked on, but
I
hopefully
want
they'll
to play
surprise
them
me.
to have played them.
Well, right, and that's that same now, and like
Yeah.
hopefully I'm surprised because
Yeah.
like the other ones are like hardcore, like fake hardcore fans that like know the lore, and so and I don't anymore, and so it's like maybe I will just because I'll get into it, and be like, hey, you know what, this is fun, this is good, I've had fun, I enjoy myself.
Might
so.
be a reason to get an Xbox. Who knows for Halo Infinite if they say they.
I thought they
fixed
said
it up.
Infinite was going on PC too.
That is. 5 is the one that we have to get an Xbox for.
It's
but
not on the Game Pass.
No, it's not on PC
My
at all.
assumption
There's
is
no
that
PC.
it'll eventually be on the PC. Halo 5. Guardians.
You'd think, yeah.
Yeah.
Guardians.
But yeah, I'm excited to play the rest of these. This is a damn good game.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. I'm excited to go through because now I'm actually paying attention to the story. And I was always like pretentious because I played Final Fantasy and I was like, story, Halo, come on, don't be gay. But now I'm like, no, it's actually pretty good for what it is. Like it's a cool little, and it's the things that I like. It's like the fantasy sci-fi mashup that I fucking love. Like you were saying when I was taking a piss earlier, it's a little bit of Star Wars, it's a little bit of Lord of the Rings, and like those are two great things for the most part. Lord of the Rings is great anyway, but it's like it's a good culmination of the shit that I like: big epic music, cool fucking scenarios, jokes, violence, like all the good stuff. It's all packed into one little package here, and that's Master Chief's armor. So I'm excited. Yeah, so join us. We're going to be playing Halo 2, probably multiplayer quite a bit, I imagine.
We've been playing multiplayer a lot over the last couple days. Now, this episode does come out a couple weeks later, so who knows what we'll be doing then. But, check on the Discord, see if we're on there. If we're on there, we're probably playing something.
Yeah, especially
if
with
we're in the voice chat.
I kind of missed out on
something.
I kind of missed out on that multiplayer with you guys too, because like the way my work schedule worked out, me and Zach kind of had to just go through the campaign this week, so I totally fucking missed out on playing multiplayer with you guys. We got to hop into that somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got tonight off, I'll be there.
Yeah,
I got tonight off.
Okay.
I probably got to do art, but I don't mind. I don't mind playing a few matches of Halo.
Well, we'll see. I'll be home.
All right.
And I'll be installing Halo 2.
Eventually be home.
Okay. All right, guys. Log your hog.
Log your hog.
Log your hog. Links in the description for everything, including logging your hog and following us on the various socials. We'll see you guys next time.
Live always in the nude.
Walk with your cock held high.
Fuck. Halo is a good game. Also, fuck off.
No!